Okay, let's go. Morning, everybody, and I'll open the meeting at 9:03. Just letting you know that we have Councillor Hancock online. Good morning, Councillor.
Good morning, Mayor Taylor.
And if I could have someone move a leave of absence for Brendan Seawright. Amber.
I move that apologies be received and a leave of absence be granted for Councillor Seawright for this meeting.
Seconder, Councillor Burkett. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. Someone move the confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary meeting on the 14th of August 2025. Councillor O'Neill.
I move that the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 14th of August 2025 be confirmed.
Or seconder, Councillor Vincent. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. 10.1, monthly report, actions from council meetings. Do I have a mover? Councillor Vincent.
I move that council receive and note the officers' report as presented.
Seconder, Councillor Brompton. And like to speak, Councillor?
I just thank you for the staff for continuing to work on this report for us and for them as well. Just gives a clear oversight on where we're going with our motions made at council meetings.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. 11.1, amendment to debtor management policy. Councillor Brompton.
I move that Council 1 adopt the updated data management policy as presented. 2, rescind all previous versions of the data management policy. And 3, upload the updated data management policy to Council's public website.
Seconder, Councillor Davis. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
This amendment is allowing a provision addressing payments requested by customers with outstanding debts being withheld until those debts are paid in full. So it's just a minor amendment to allow that to happen.
Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote.
Just got a question, Mayor.
Yeah, when you're ready.
Just got a question.
Yes, Councillor.
Just through the Mayor. CEO, can we legally do this? Withhold paying somebody or they have a debt? We check that.
Sorry, Councillor Hancock, just say again.
Can we legally do this? Have we checked this, that we can legally do this?
Through the Mayor, yes, we can for what the purposes we're looking at doing it for, yes, in this case. And some of these things will be built into policies as well so that it excludes it at the beginning rather than at the end. It's sort of, this is just the catch for those ones that happen to slip through, really. So like if you pick, for example, the grants policy, you would write into a grants policy that you can't receive a grant if you owe council any money, for example. So this would just be if something slips through that we can still have that same provision in essence.
We also have the overpayments too.
Yeah, and for overpayments,
overpayments,
yeah. So, but yes, I have checked that, Councillor.
Right. And so is it still work the same as if someone owes us rates and they are also a contractor for council and doing work for council, and obviously we're paying them for their work? Is this covering that scenario as well?
We're trying not to use it in that particular scenario. Where someone's done work on it for us, then we're trying not to use it in that particular. It's a bit of a what do you call it? The paragraph does, I guess, potentially could be interpreted that way. It's not our intention to interpret it that way. So that if someone does work for us, they'll get paid.
Righto. So the only thing I'm thinking is I know that's our intention now, but if we're setting a policy and staff changes, does it, I just want to make sure that we're doing this right and that it is all legal and can it be read any other way? But if the CEO is happy with the policy and the men, being able to enact it, I'm happy to go with that. Are you happy, CEO Rob?
Yeah, with the overpayments and and certainly the grant one will be coming back as well. It's got to be incorporated in the grant policy. But in terms of if you're using a contractor, that's a different matter though. You can't withhold payment there. So yeah, I'm fine with it, Joe. Councillor.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else like to speak? You did speak, Councillor? You're right? Yep. Okay. We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. 13.1 Maranoa Christmas Street Party 2025. Councillor Davis.
Thank you. I'd like to declare a conflict of interest. The item is 13.1 Maranoa Christmas Street Party 2025. The declaring councillor is myself, Amber Davis. The person with the interest is myself and my husband, Wayne Davis. We own and operate Bessie's Ice Cream Bus, and we will most likely be attending the event. It's a declarable conflict of interest, and I'll leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
Thank you. Councillor Brompton.
I'd like to declare a conflict of interest on item 13.1, Maranoa Street Christmas Party 2025. Declaring councillor is myself. The person with the interest is myself. The particulars, my employer, West Wind Energy, was the sponsor of the event. It's a prescribed conflict of interest, and I'll leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
Thank you. Both. Councillor Brompton and Davis have left the room. Do I have a mover? Councillor O'Neill.
I do. I've just got a question though before I move. Should we have a date for the 0.7, the luncheon? Is there a
Through you, Mayor. Yeah, we can include Friday the
19th? Yeah. Of December.
Did anybody else have any questions before we move on? Councillor Hancock, are you right?
I'm good, thanks, Mayor.
I've just got one more.
Yep.
And I should have raised this yesterday, but the Thursday the 4th, which is the first week of December, did we explore pushing it to the second week? Given we often get that feedback that it's very early in the month, you know, people aren't really thinking about Christmas and whatever.
Just checking, if you recall, there's a whole range of other events. We're just trying to make sure we're not clashing, which may be the reason.
Oh, yeah. And then I was going to, it was Mitchell's in the 5th, so it's a day after. Yep. No, that's right.
It's always a day after, isn't
It's
it?
usually the first Monday in December, but they change it to Friday to get more patronage.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder if I'm having the 4th then, is there a way that we could tie in some of the entertainers that come here? We might, maybe not all of them, some of them, whatever, could go through to Mitchell.
Yeah, I think we had Russell Dewar, usually the only...
No, in addition to Russell.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he's on there this year or not.
Happy to liaise with Baringa Action Group and see if they're interested in having the other Christmas entertainers go through and stay in.
Probably not the stilts on the grass, but those tall people might fall over.
No, but there could be other, like the Grinch and whatever that we, you know, I don't know if they're on the cards, but, you know, that type of thing.
And what about food vendors as well?
Yeah.
How do you get on for food vendors on that?
Yeah, no, they just have the school does the soft drink chip stand, and then museum does the ice creams and does the barbecue. That's really all they have, I think.
Is that enough? Yeah.
Well, they do get a hell of a lineup, but I think it's a laser too, so.
Yeah.
Happy to, when we start reaching out to food vendors, just letting them know.
Just
that
probably
Mitchell's
talk
event
to
is on the
Bag first and see what they
Just in
think,
case
or
they don't
Rotary.
need any more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I'll move that council...
Just a thought, Councillor O'Neill, sorry, just on the back of that, Surratt's then on the Saturday. So we've got Roma Thursday,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mitchell Friday, and Surratt's Saturday. So I'm just wondering, probably not the food vendors, because the local
You're on the Sunday.
community does that, but maybe the entertainment. So that's the Surratt Local Ambulance Carnival.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Put some
Well-
homework
Thanks,
there,
Georgie.
All right, I'll move that Council 1 hosts the 2025 Maranoa Christmas Street Party on Thursday, the 4th of December 2025. 2, approve McDowell Street to be closed from Hawthorne Street to Charles Street from 2:30pm to 10pm on Thursday, the 4th of December 2025. Seek additional sponsorship opportunities for the 2025 Maranoa Christmas Street Party. 4, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to sign funding applications and all funding agreements relative to the 2025 Maranoa Christmas Street Party as applicable. 5, form an organising committee comprising of council representatives to include councillors Taylor and Hancock, council staff, community and business representatives. 6, coordinate a shop local campaign that is drawn in the week before Christmas. 7, coordinate a Christmas luncheon on Friday, the 19th of December 2025.
Thank you. I have a second. Councillor Burkett, would you
I'd
like?
like to ask for an amendment to point 7,
Yeah.
to include and provide operational support to smaller communities who host similar luncheons.
Or maybe make that an 8.
Yeah, you could make
So
that.
coordinate a Christmas luncheon in Roma on Friday, the 19th of December. 8, provide operational support to smaller communities who also host Christmas events.
Yeah, all events, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Councillor Burkett's happy with that? Would you like to speak, councillor?
Oh, briefly, thanks, Mayor. I've lost count of how many years we've been doing this now, but a worthwhile event on the annual calendar. It's grown each and every year. The staff are doing a marvellous job in coordinating it, and I know there's significant buy-in from elected representatives around the table as well to this event, which I think is really important. And I look forward to this year's event and personally helping where I can. And I know there'll be others around the table that will want to do that as well.
Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Vincent.
Yes, and I'm happy to support this one today, and thank you to the mover and seconder for adding the additional point. I know there's a lot of volunteers out there that host a similar luncheon that only have a couple of people there to serve the food and all that. So if we could provide some operational support in that, like we do in Roma, I think that'll go a long way to helping those events as well. So, yeah, looking forward to going to the Roma Street
Looks like
Party.
we're all going to have more than one Christmas lunch.
No.
Anyone else like to speak?
Yeah,
Councillor Burkett.
I'd just like to follow on from the previous council. I think adding number 8 is a good point for those smaller communities. You do always get that little bit of pushback that they don't want to travel in, but I think the Roma Christmas Party is worth travelling in for. I really enjoy going in there and got a few places. I haven't got a first in the events yet, but I'm not putting my hand up just yet. But I think it is a great event, and it's just at the start of a good festive season moving forward for the region.
Yeah, it is good. Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? On that note, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
6-0.
Cool, who was the seconder on that one?
Councillor Burkett. You're still here,
Jane, we
George.
should just get all those dates so that councillors can attend and help
Councillor
serve
Davis
whatever as
and
well.
Brompton are
Yeah.
back in the room. 14.1, endorsement of the Community Grants and Events Assistance Policy and Sponsorship Policy. Councillor Davis.
I'd like to move that Council 1 adopt the Community Grants and Events Assistance Policy as presented. 2, adopt the sponsorship policy with the following amendment. Events, programs or activities run solely for commercial profit do meet the eligibility criteria. Three, rescind all previous versions of the above-mentioned policies identified in points 1 and 2. 4, approve the reopening of the Community Grants Program for applications following adoption of these policies. 5, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to make any minor administration amendments to these policies as required. 6, upload the adopted policies on Council's public website.
Have a seconder. Councillor Brompton. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Thank you. Just briefly, I'd like to thank the staff for working with council to come up with a really good policy that will help us achieve what we want to in supporting community to deliver what they would like to, and also to host great events and to streamline the process and make it easier. Really happy that the sponsorship policy is about, council buying that something with it. So buying advertising, buying, brand recognition and that. So happy to support this today.
Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Vincent.
Yeah, I'd love to support this one today. I moved the motion back in June to have this come back to the table. Thank you to Georgie and Jane for working with us at the table to get this over the line. It was all about transparency, opening up to see what was going on with our grants and sponsorship. And I think the changes to the events policy the events support will not put them in competition with our facilities upgrades and all those sort of things, and to put the sponsorship policy out on its own. There was a lot of discussion around the table in what sponsorship actually was and what we were seeking by using that terminology. So more than happy to support this one today.
Are you right?
Mayor, sorry, I just want to clarify, the sponsorship policy does include commercial entities. It's the community grants and events assistance policy that you've got before you that doesn't include. So do you want to ensure that the community grants and events assistance policy is the one that commercial profits can apply?
No, the change I want to make is on page 98
For
of
the
the sponsorship policy as
currently-
it stands. The page we have says they're ineligible.
First dot point under ineligible.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Okay, cool. Okay. It just in the end. Yep. All right. In the eligibility criteria, they're there. Yep. Sure. Sorry.
You're right, Georgie.
Yep. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak?
Yes, please.
When you're ready, councillor.
I just want to again thank the staff for working with us on this policy. I think that this has been it's been a massive job, but our existing policy that we'd had been around for a fair time, and just from my experience of sitting at the table over the last 2 terms, I just felt that it wasn't really addressing all of the requests that were coming from community the way it should be. And so I really endorse this new policy, because I think that it will take away those ad hoc requests from communities, and we can point them back to a policy that that is in line with this term of council's vision for events, grants and sponsorship. So, yeah, thanks to the staff, and I just encourage our community to have a look at the new policies and to actually reach out to our local development officers to have a chat about the different ways that they can apply for grants and sponsorship with council that is in line with this policy. Once again, thanks to the staff for their assistance, and looking forward to some community feedback on how this process is working.
Mayor,
Thanks, councillor.
can I just move this lays on the table to later in the meeting, just to get some clarity around the eligibility and the ineligible part around the commercial businesses?
Yep, that's fine. Everyone happy? Take a vote, lay it on the table till later in the meeting.
Yes.
8-0. Councillor Flynn, sorry, haven't named it, sorry. 14.2, Headspace Roma multi-venue user agreement. Councillor Flynn.
Yeah, I'd like to declare a conflict of interest on this item, 14.2, Headspace Roma multi-venue user agreement. Declaring councillor as Peter Flynn, person with the related interests as myself. Particular as the interest, I am the chairperson of the local Headspace Operational Committee, and therefore could be seen to have a vested interest in the decision on this matter. The type of conflict is a prescribed conflict of interest, and I will leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
Thank you. Councillor Flynn has left the room. Do I have a mover? Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move the Council 1 enter into a non-exclusive multi-venue user agreement with R Health Limited for use of the Mitchell Youth Hub, Injune Community Centre, Wallumbilla Memorial Hall, Yulbar, CWA Building and the Strat Youth Zone for a period of 3 years. 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or Delegate to execute the multi-venue user agreement.
Have a seconder, Councillor Brumpton. Just a question, sorry. So it's not Headspace that's doing this, it's R Health?
Through the chair, our health,
one of the
Headspace
same?
is a subcommittee of
Yeah,
our
okay, yeah. Thanks, Sue. Councillor Burkett, would you like to speak on the matter?
Yeah, I think this is a great program to support, and I think it's important for all sorts of kids from all walks of life to be able to go to somewhere to talk to someone in a private setting and one that's comfortable to them. And I think these places around our region offer that. So I think it's a great step forward to supporting our youth in the community.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak?
I just have a question.
Yes, Councillor Hancock.
Did we just, from our briefing, we just had some concerns about the user agreement with the Injune Community Centre. Did we sort that out?
Yes, we consultation with the local development officer in June. The agreement with the Blue Light Association is a non-exclusive agreement. Therefore, council can still manage the bookings for the use of the community centre.
And have we discussed this with that group to be able to negotiate that shared venue?
I believe the local development officer has had conversations with the group who are happy to facilitate the use of their room in the community centre.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, on that note, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
7-0. Thanks, Leah.
Thanks, Scott.
Councillor Flynn is back in the room. 14.3, development application, material change of use, dwelling house, domestic outbuilding, 173 Edward Street, Roma, reference 2025/2153-4. Councillor Flynn.
Declare a conflict of interest on item 14.3, development application, material change of use, 173 Edward Street, Roma. The reference 2025/2155334. Declaring councillor as myself, Peter Flynn, persons with interest, myself and my daughter Lucy Foley. Particulars of interest, I am the owner of a neighbouring block to the block being discussed in this application, and my daughter and her husband also own a block neighbouring on to the block being discussed. The conflict of interest is prescribed, and I will leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
Thank you. Councillor Flynn has left the room. Councillor Vincent?
I've got a question. Hi. Just in the officer's recommendation, it's got that it's significantly larger than a rural residential zone, and there's not enough justification for a general residential zone. So is it a general it's general residential, isn't it?
Through you, Mayor, it is. That's an error in the recommendation there. It should reference general residential zone in all points, all dot points.
Okay, so yeah.
It's,
Okay, and so is it larger than a rural residential zoning shed as well?
Through you, Mayor, I did want to clarify today, there is a piece of information in the report that isn't clear or correct, and that's the land size on which the shed is proposed. So it's The site is part of a larger land holding that comprises 3 lots with a total area of 7.2 hectares, and the particular lot on which the shed is proposed is 4.17 hectares. Technically, the assessment should be based just on that single lot because no part of the shed actually is on those secondary lots that are part of the land holding, but I just wanted to make that information clear.
And they haven't amalgamated those blocks, have they?
No, they haven't.
And so the block behind is residential as well?
Through you, Mayor, the lot is almost entirely surrounded by residential land. So the land to the rear is residential. There's a very small portion on the northern boundary that adjoins rural residential land.
So I can't remember the, sorry, through you.
You're
Mayor.
right.
I can't remember the table we talked about the other day, but how much, is it the shed or the house that's the issue? The shed?
Through you, Mayor, this proposal is just for the shed. In terms of previous approvals, Council has approved a 358 square metre shed, slightly larger in the general residential zone, and that lot was just over 1 hectare, so it is smaller than this lot. Aside from the land area, the other key difference between the two applications is probably the other one did immediately adjoin rural residential land, whereas this one is almost entirely surrounded by just general residential.
Through you, Mayor. Danielle, the other 2 blocks, if I'm looking at page 112, which would, one comes off Miss Campbell, you'd both have to come off Miss Campbell, I suspect. That is, there's an easement through there, isn't there? Like, not an easement, that's where water runs through there, isn't it?
Through you, Mayor, there isn't an easement, but there is a drainage channel, a significant drainage channel that runs through there. So the lot is constrained to an extent in terms of future development because of that channel that runs through there.
So I asked that because whilst the blocks haven't been amalgamated, I can't see those 2 other blocks off Miss, because of that waterway, they will never be developed. And so I have to think about it as the entire blocks. Mm-hmm. And then there is sizable land there. That shed, regardless of the size, if it was to the size that would fit into a residential zone as per, our policy, it seems very close to the boundaries of those houses, if that's right. So I don't quite understand why it would be there when there's quite a bit of land.
It's 6 metres, I think.
6.5.
Pollux, do they own this or they've put the DA in on behalf of someone else?
They've purchased the land.
They own the land.
Sorry, through the Mayor again, it's a significant, is it 6 metres off the boundary or something?
6.5 metres
So that's a fair
off the
distance
side boundary.
Yeah, I suppose it's hard to judge that on that photo. But yeah, 6 metres is a fair.
Through the Chair again, is there an alternative resolution if we choose to approve it?
Through you, Mayor, we would recommend conditions if Council wanted an alternative resolution which we can circulate.
We lay this on the table to get that alternate resolution with the conditions for us to be able to read it and consider it.
All those in favour?
Are we laying this on the table to further amend or to a future meeting, Councillor O'Neill?
This meeting?
The only reason I'm asking that is I wonder if you.
When's it due?
3rd of October.
Well, we can do conditions.
This meeting?
We can.
Well,
we can
I have moved to later in this meeting.
Yep.
Let's get the conditions, and then if people feel that they need more time, then we'll move a subsequent motion.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Already.
Yep, thank you.
Are you happy with that, councillor?
Yeah, just want to make sure we have time to understand it, that's all, yep.
Did you? Well, I don't think Councillor Hancock voted. So do you want to take that again?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So all those to lay it on the table till
later in the meeting.
later in the meeting?
Yes.
7-0.
Okay.
And councillors, Daniel has an alternate resolution there ready to go, so we'll forward that to you so you can at least read it and we can come back to it later.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
And Kelly, did you can forward to Kel as well? Right?
Would could I have a printed copy, please? Is that all right? I don't know if anyone else wants printed copies, but
Yeah.
Oh, just, not the whole show, just the condition part of
No,
it.
yeah,
ju-
conditions.
just
Yeah,
the-
Just that one sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy for a copy.
Yes, thanks, Ken. Councillor yeah, Flynn, that'd be good. Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks, guys.
What was the other one? Around the table.
Councillor Flynn is back in the room. 14.4, option to review licence agreement Surat Washdown Facility. Do I have a mover? Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move that Council 1 approve the extension of the licence agreement with Manandangi Cultural Heritage Services Proprietary Limited for a further 3-year term in accordance with the terms of the current agreement until the 17th of August 2028. 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to determine the annual rental amount having regard to any additional utilities, maintenance and operational expenses at the premises as a result of this agreement. 3, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to execute the licence agreement.
Seconder. Councillor Vincent, you have a question, Councillor Davis?
I do, thank you. Manager Leah, sorry. Because council hasn't set a rate and hasn't charged Mandandangi, are we really able to approve an extension if that hasn't been solely completed as per the resolution? Through the chair, it was a point that was missed from the previous resolution with the renewal, with the background, gathering the background for this renewal. That's where it was identified.
Sorry, Mayor, I just can't hear Officer Leah.
Oh, sorry. The mic was off, sorry, councillor. That point to charge was missed from the first resolution. It was identified with gathering the background for the renewal, so we've added that back in as.
Yeah, the intention certainly is to, I guess, rectify the error because we've identified it. Only reason we found it was because we've been reviewing as part of this process. So certainly the intent is to then set the fee and then move forward rather than retrospectively correct.
Yeah, so with point 2, determine the annual rental amount having regard to any additional utilities, maintenance and operational expenses. Are we also going to return a profit or are we just covering our expenses?
At this stage, the intention is to recover our expenses, really.
With water use included.
Do we do this anywhere else? Through the chair, no. This is quite a unique licence agreement. All other council-owned washdown facilities are for public use. However, this one is just for staff and.
Roma Sale Yards and the Injune one are owned by us, though, aren't they?
So is this one.
They have
Operated by us, though.
Yeah. So, and Manandangi Cultural Heritage Services Pty Ltd are a business that is in. Yeah.
The business is Bullaroo Weed Hygiene Services under the Mandandangi Cultural Heritage Services Proprietary Limited.
I think back in 22 we had a deputation by Timmy Clark, you remember that? Came and spoke to us and explained it all. I can't remember all the details, but
Yeah, so from my recollection, Councillor Burkett, you're right, they came in, they had a deputation, and what it was is they needed to be able to wash their vehicles down, obviously to go into everyone's property, so it was a biosecurity Surat doesn't have a washdown facility that is open to the public, but council has one at their depot, obviously, for our own vehicles. So that's where the user agreement or the agreement has come out of, is their request to be able to use our facility, I guess, it is to be able to wash down their vehicles, because there was no other public one. And yeah, I'm probably very disappointed that it wasn't charged at that time. I think that's not very good. But that was the basis of it, is to be able to provide them a place to wash down their vehicles, which is also then helping our biosecurity in our region as well. But I'm totally supportive of charging for it.
Thanks for that information, Councillor Hancock, because I thought they were actually operating a weed washdown facility from our depot. I didn't pick up that they were just using it for their individual...
Their own vehicles.
And just to further clarify and add to Councillor Hancock's point, it is part of the Shell QGC pilot tight gas project, and that's the reason why they've outsourced that weed washdown to that particular company, and they're just using our facilities in lieu of a public. There's no access to public washdown facility at the moment in Surat.
In light of point 2, where it says authorise the CEO or delegate to determine the annual rental amount, it's already been determined, isn't it? On page 149, oversee for Warua's proposed annual rental fee of 5,000 plus GST. Wouldn't we just put that in as point 2?
Can do.
So
Maybe it needs to be negotiated, Councillor O'Neill.
I just think that they probably haven't had that, marginally you haven't had that discussion with them about the amount, so that's why it's negotiation. But
oh, is it? All right.
that's the suggestion of the officers though. But
So what if they're not happy with our, or do we, like, if the CEO goes and says it's $5,000 a year and they say we're only going to pay $2 million, what happens then?
Come back to us.
Well, no, we've authorised the CEO or delegate to determine it.
Yeah.
and if it's not, I don't believe it's, I won't sign it. So
But there's been no issues in the last 3 years, whatever.
No, it's operating quite low level and intermittent, and hasn't been a huge impact on
not every
our
day.
water or our operations.
And just with point 2, sorry, Madam Mayor, sorry, I can't see.
You're
Am
right.
I- Just with point 2, Councillor O'Neill, yes, we are authorising the Chief Executive Officer to negotiate, but also we're saying to negotiate having in regard any of our additional utilities, maintenance, operational expenses at the premises. So I guess we're asking the CEO to take that into consideration when he negotiates.
Councillor Davis.
So Bullaroo Weed Hygiene Services operates out of the Western Downs. Do they have staff in our region, or is that where their base is?
Sorry, Councillor, I'm not aware of the
Yep.
their staffing arrangements. That they do have a base or a washdown facility in Chinchilla,
Yep.
which I believe is their
Because
main.
the report states that it operates out of the Western Downs town of Chinchilla. What's their contribution to Surat or the Maranoa
Killing weeds.
as a business?
Well, they're a support business for the Shell QGC operations that are currently operating in the Surat Basin on Overstone Road.
So that, yeah, and so therefore those workers, when they're in the region, they are buying food from our local shop. And, you know, I do know that they support the local hotel. And so I guess that is the economic, but as an actual business, I'm not sure. But as the individual workers, there's economic benefit to the town.
And they would have to be washing down to go between properties. They
Yeah.
couldn't drive back to Chinchilla because then the wash down is then invalid because they're driving, you know, you're washing down between locations or whatever. So I can see why they would need access locally, yeah.
I know the access, Meryl, but, Councillor Brumpton. It's a cost recovery and not a profit for the council is what we're voting on now.
Essentially.
It does say QGC remunerate BWHS on a cost recovery basis. So whatever, what I read from that is whatever we charge,
they'll get
they'll get remunerated back by QGC in any case.
Yeah.
So that's something that the CEO negotiates with.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we put the $5,000 including GST into the resolution?
Is it covering our costs? Are we sure that's
Well,
fully covering?
It's
That's
what's
material.
proposed by the overseer for Baroot.
Through the chair.
CEO, do we know that that's cost recovery, including water use at this stage though?
Through the chair, a rough average for $5,000 annually is approximately 18 minutes per day. So my view with that is that it's a little
Low.
yes. So that's why I haven't provided the figure
Sorry,
in
Leo,
point
I
two.
didn't hear that.
The average with setting the annual rental fee for at $5,000, it's an average of 18 minutes per day. So my view was that it was a little low for what the usage is for the facility, so we haven't added that cost into point two, and it's just by negotiation with the CEO or delegate.
And
Thanks, Leo.
sorry, and this might only get used 1 week out of 3 months. Like, it's not every day putting strain on our infrastructure.
That's correct. Councillor Burkett. Yeah, it's infrequent use at the moment.
All right, has anyone else got any questions? Who moved that?
So I just wonder, sorry, just with Councillor Davis's point, well, maybe our intent is that we don't want to look at it as a cost recovery, and we want to look at it as, that we want to make a profit for our residents on this as well. So maybe I guess I'm happy to leave it to the CEO, as long as he understands our intent, I guess. Does that make sense? Because we don't know what that figure is, and so leaving it up to the CEO to work that out.
Why don't we just charge them per minute like we do the rest? Because somebody'd have to time them, would they?
Well, we looked at installing the AvData system, which is
Costs money. Yeah.
for installation and also for the use of council staff to use the washdown. So that's why we suggested that an annual rental fee be a better solution for the use.
Has anyone got any more questions? Do you want to sum up, Councillor?
Oh, I'll speak.
You got a question?
No, I'll speak. Thanks.
Yep.
I think this is it's a pretty good relationship. The last 3 years there's been no issues. It's no strain on our infrastructure and water supply because it's not every day. So I think, and the small benefits to the community is one that they'd love to have more often. But I think if they're buying a burger, if they're staying a night, the pub's making a bit of money. That's an added bonus. But I think it's also it helps the landowners around that if someone's getting on their land and sorting out the weed problem, whatever, and also to Councillor Brumpton's point, they're not going out of our shire into the next shire and forming bad relationships by spreading weeds. I think this ticks all the boxes, and I'm confident that the CEO can negotiate a good price that we're not missing out. If we do make a profit, so be it. But I think I've got all the confidence in the CEO to sort that out.
Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Davis.
I also have confidence in the CEO, but I feel as council we need to give the CEO direction of what our intention is. I feel that council should be looking to return some small profit. It is community that we're trying to advance, that are guaranteed that they do come to Surat and they may buy a burger, as does any other business that pays for services that they use. So as this resolution stands, I don't think there's enough detail in it to actually give the intent that it should be for a profit. I don't want to make millions. I just feel that some sort of profit should be generated for the community accessing council's facilities.
Do you want to test an amendment?
If I could probably need some help with the wording on just point 2 to determine an annual rental amount.
Including cost recovery and...
It doesn't say either way there. Like
No,
it's
that's what
pretty
it is.
open. Yeah.
But the discussion around the table has been for the director that it's a cost recovery. Cost recovery.
So just from my point of view, I suppose that's certainly where the discussion started. What I took away from the discussion there through yourself and Councillor Hancock there was that council's intention is to go back and look at that $5,000. Is that just covering costs? Because that's not what council feeling is, and is actually to look at that amount and obviously not just to cover our costs, but obviously have a bit of an amount in there.
But even that $5,000, like say they only use it 1 week and they're getting 5,000 a year, that's a good profit. So until we know, or we won't know, it's not a guaranteed time frame for what they want to use. So it could be. Yeah.
In terms of an amendment, you could annual rental amount in brackets, including cost recovery and appropriate profit margin, having a regard to any additional utilities made in the operational expenses of the premise as a result of the agreement. That gives.
Madam Mayor, before the amendment's put, could I ask a question? Do we have a seconder for this motion?
Yes.
The original motion?
Councillor Vincent.
Okay. Can I move the original motion be put?
You can't now, Councillor Flynn, because someone has foreshadowed they're proposing an amendment.
No, it hasn't been foreshadowed yet. There's
So
been talk on amendment. There's no discussion that the amendment is actually been listed.
Councillor Davis foreshadowed amendment. She asked.
So she spoke against the motion, I'm sorry.
No, she just said she would propose an amendment,
She was asked by the mayor if she wanted to put an amendment.
and she started,
And she started.
Yes.
and then she asked for help.
My idea of doing this is that if the motion's defeated, then they come back with another proposal.
If the amendment's defeated.
The amendment's got to be.
That is one way, but our standing
haven't
orders
asked
allow
you
an
yet.
amendment at any point. And if there's a seconder for the amendment, then that amendment has to be debated and voted on.
How we're going with number 2.
Councillor Vincent and I approve the amendment.
True.
Yeah,
Amount
yeah.
having regard to additional.
Well, council's considering
I
that.
haven't, well,
No, it's
I
not
haven't,
there.
so we haven't got to that stage still.
Have we finished?
I don't think.
No, that's not
there.
The
the.
wording's gone.
That's wording's
Oh,
gone.
sorry.
Oh, thanks.
Sneaky.
Sorry.
Sorry, just while council's considering that,
It was
on average there last few years, how much
brackets
usage does it really have?
including to margin.
How many?
We don't have exact data, CEO, but it's intermittent and it's not there every day. So we'd have to get the data off them.
When they are there, how
Yep.
long are they there for?
They're not there less than an hour because of only usually 2 or 3 vehicles to wash down.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, at this stage,
Yes,
based on
please.
their
Have a
production
seconder
levels
for the
and yeah.
amendment.
We have received.
I'm happy to second.
No.
Sorry.
You move the amendment, see if the mover and seconder are happy, and then if they're not, then you seek a
Then we do
seconder for
that.
the.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I accept it because it's still going to be negotiated by the CEO, and we're just putting words in his mouth. So so I'm happy with that.
So you're happy with that? Councillor Vincent, you happy with that?
Yes.
All right.
That
So
now becomes the
That
mo-
now becomes the motion. Would you like to talk to the motion, Councillor Davis? No. Go back to,
Well, anyone can. Speak.
anybody can,
Yeah.
would you like to talk to it?
No, I think I've said my piece, thank you.
Would anybody like to speak?
Yes, please.
When you're ready, Councillor Hancock.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to support this today because I actually do think it's been a good thing for not only the Surat community, but more importantly, my concern was about the biosecurity for our region, which is why I initially supported this agreement. And I think that this just provides a good option for that company to be able to make sure that they are doing biosecurity and looking after our region. I'm happy with the amendment. I do think that we should be doing a bit more than cost recovery because, you know, we actually do need to do repairs and maintenance of our facility. And so there'll come a time where we'll be needing to use that money to go back into the facility that this company is using. And I have every confidence in our CEO to negotiate a good arrangement for us. So happy to support this motion as it stands.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
Against? 7-1.
Councillors, just on that one, I'll talk to the team
But
down
I
there.
have my vote recorded too, thanks.
Call for division.
I'll just ask the staff to.
Oh, Mayor, it's two separate
Oh,
things. If
sorry.
Councillor Flynn asked for his vote to be recorded, it's just his vote to be recorded.
His
But
vote.
if you wanted that up, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, councillor, just saying with that one, they're going forward to be, just get some statistics around how often that's being used, and number of vehicles, because we don't actually have that. And I think going forward, that's going to be fairly handy too, just to know how many vehicles it is, because it appears it's intermittent sort of use, so.
It has been emailed.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
And sorry, just to add to that, CEO, we do have cameras in the depot.
Oh,
so
I
we
think
can-
it's probably more the fact we sit down with them as part of negotiation, Matt, and just say, well, look, we want to keep a record, whether it's on them or us to keep a bit of a documentation and how often and.
Yeah, perhaps a quarterly report from them on
Yeah, just
statistics.
generate a report. It shouldn't be that hard, but yeah, thanks, mate.
Everyone ready for the late? L1, monthly financial report as of the 31st of July 2025. Because it's just a little bit different in appearance, I'm just going to get Director Brett to just run through it in case, we can have any questions on the way around if you like.
And improve it still.
So to the Director.
Cool. Thank you, Madam Excuse me. So the intent of the report, it's certainly designed a bit different to what we've typically done, and we're trying to improve the quality of the reporting. I'll preface it at the beginning to say there's still work to be done, so there's some elements that we want to add and a bit of clarity, particularly around the QRA or the DRFA funding, still needs some work, and there's a few items like that through the report. So I've tried to make this a bit more visual, so up front sort of giving you a sense of whether there's whether we're tracking okay or not, which is the idea of those graphs at the front, or those little dials, if you like, just so you can see the overall position, the income and the expenditure at that particular point in time. The statements within it are designed around a typical financial statement, so to try and keep consistent rather than having the old approach where we sort of treat it more like just operations. This one's trying to show you the same sort of result that you would see when you're looking at a set of financial statements. So you'll see that same consistent theme when we get into the business units. It's that same style all the way through, so that once you understand the style, you should be able to just pick it up and use that same style all the way through. So you can see, for example, if you look at that, the statement of comprehensive income, which is a typical statement that we use, it's laid out exactly as you'll see when you see the financials at the end of the financial year. And so, for example, you can see that the annual budget matches up with that value that we've talked about, that slight deficit, $1.5 million deficit all the way through. To try and help with a little bit of a gauge of what's going on, we've then also provided a graphical representation that shows you the period of time. So you can see that over the course of the year what our budget, so on that next page it talks about what the budget will be across the year as how the managers or the budget managers have phased it. And then you'll see that orange line grow over time to see, and ideally you want to see them line up across the time. Otherwise you're saying, well, what's going on? And then gives us also an indicator for the staff as well to see where they need to do adjustments to their through the quarterly budget reviews to make things line up better as well, so they can keep a closer track on what's going on. We've also given you a balance sheet, which we haven't done in the past, and a statement of cash flows. Just those, they all help add to the picture, so you can sort of see what our cash balance is and what our contract assets and contract liabilities and those sorts of information along the way. To me, they're very important to help you understand why the cash is like it is. And you'll see we also then, following on from the cash flow statement, we have a bit of a cash flow summary, and then we just do a brief, at the moment, it's just a brief couple of lines on what a restricted and unrestricted cash is, so you can see what they are at any particular point in time. We'd like to see that more of a trend, so you can start to see a graphical representation of that as well. So that's those slight improvements that we'll make over the next few iterations of it. Also trying to give you the next page talks about the capital budget, so you can see how we're spending against capital. I'm still in two minds as to whether we might remove one of those statements out, for example, the top one, and just focus on the bottom statement on that report. So I'm certainly open to your feedback after this council meeting as to whether things you'd like to see improved and changed. But the idea being that you'll then start to see the year-to-date there, so you can monitor whether they're tracking to plan. As I mentioned, the DRFA is the next, or the Queensland flood events. Certainly the intention is to put a summary table in here rather than a big long story of words, because I'm not sure the words are really getting the message across. It's probably just a little too detailed still. So we'll try a slightly summarised version via a table to articulate what we've got out in terms what we've actually asking for, or what we've applied for QRA, and then what we've been approved, what we've been spent. And so you can actually see what's still outstanding. That's the intent. Then moved into the business units, so you'll see those same business units that you typically will see. We've just given them a page and a half in effect, or 2 pages each, depending upon what's in there. I guess we've tried to again keep that layout consistent, so it's the same sort of financial statement style with a graphical representation too, so you can see from how they're trending. And there's each of those: the sale yards, airports, gravel pits, sewerage, water, gas, are all in here, which is what we've typically provided, and waste, just laid out a little differently. Next bit talks about age debtors, so I want to change this up a little bit to give you a sense of our rates debtors, where they're sitting from a graphical representation, so you can see the total values, outstanding versus overdue, which is another discussion that we'll have, and the graphs will change over time to give you a sense of what makes that up and how many are on arrangements and things like that. We separate out gas utilities. You could argue that's a sundry debtor, but it's not a rates debtor, so hence why we're just showing you the gas as a separate line about the debtors in there. And I guess the bit that we haven't typically spent a lot of time on is the sundry debtors, so for you to be able to get a sense of, well, how current is our debt? So you can see we've now talked about current, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So, you should start to ask questions if you're saying, well, why are they 90 days? What are they? What are you doing about that? So just to give you a real picture of what's happening with our debtors. And the next, it's really the last page, is a bit of information on procurement, because we haven't been providing a lot of information on that, I thought. So we're trying to we have given you a graphical representation before of local spend. This is just another way of looking at it. And what we're trying to do is make as many of these something that can come straight out of the system instead of actually having to manually do them. And I think the other part we've added there is the contracts. So when we're awarding contracts, however they happen to come about, whether they're via a tender or using a local buy or anything of those contracts that are signed that are over that 200,000, we're trying to include them in here so you know what we're signing, what contracts are being made, and that's what that is. Last couple of pages there, they're just a glossary of terms, and if you find there's something in there that you'd like me to add to that, feel free. I think that's a long-winded.
Councillor Vincent.
Through the chair, fabulous report. I really enjoyed reading it last night. I found it a lot easier to read. It was very user-friendly. Just in the page 3 of 25, the potential risk exists in maturity of framework for new projects. Can you just explain?
Sorry, yes. So we've tried to, and we probably haven't spent as much attention on that element as we could, but I guess at the moment we're saying there is a risk if we don't have, I guess it's a bit like having an audit, isn't it? We're saying there is always a risk with our project management framework, or if we don't have one that's something consistently applied. So for example, if I'm doing a project and I'm not typically doing a project, there's a risk because I'm not used to doing that. Whereas if you pick on, say, Cameron's team, he's very experienced in doing projects and they do lots of projects all the time, so you have more faith in that. So what we're saying is because there isn't a overarching framework, there is a risk for some of those other projects.
Okay.
That's what I probably should articulate that a bit better, but that's
Okay, that's good.
what we're
Thank
trying
you.
to say.
Councillor O'Neill.
Thanks, Mayor. Through you, Brett. I thought our operating deficit for the budget was 1.7 million.
No, 1.5.
It is 1.561.
Yep.
Okay. And page 10, the graphs that you've used for the operating revenue, operating expenses.
Bit fuzzy.
Sure, but I like them. Can you apply that same graph to the commercial businesses of Airport Quarry and Sayards, please?
Absolutely.
That would be great. Thank you.
Councillor Brumby.
But a great report. I echo Councillor Vincent's comments. Really good.
Thank you.
I had one more question.
You go.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Vincent.
On page 5, the employee costs under budget by 310,000.
Sorry, Councillor, what page?
Councillor Vincent, do you have your microphone on?
Yes, I do. Hang on, I'll move it.
Okay, big voice.
Employee costs under budget by 310,000. Am I lining up the wrong on the comprehensive income?
No, slightly wrong. It's slightly different, isn't it? There's another error too, but that's all right.
That's okay, yeah.
Employee costs under budget by, well, that says it's 408, doesn't it? Yes, you are correct. They differ. Good pick up, thank you.
Councillor Brompton?
Just a couple of queries through you, Mayor. When we are aware that the phasing has changed, for example, with the FAGS grant, of Manager Brett, and the rates were over budget because it was billed in July, can't we do adjustments to the phasing of the budget?
Absolutely, we can, and we
Rather
should.
than
And we should.
reporting then at the end of the, it's not a budget adjustment as such, because with the budget's the same, it's just the phasing thing.
You're absolutely
It would be really beneficial to be on the front foot, so we're not saying this, like, we knew the FAGS rate came in, so we could have changed the
Absolutely, yep.
phasing.
And it should be changed. We know FAGS is absolutely incorrect at the moment.
So we
It's,
had heaps of warning and actually could have changed, so I'd like to see some proactive around this.
Yeah. Director is aware because we had that discussion this morning.
Yeah,
so,
but it's just,
Yeah.
And also, just pointing out, Director Brett also already pointed this out on page 7 of 25, the cash balance is incorrect.
Yeah.
But just in terms of accepting a report, we should note that as well.
Well, both points.
Yes. At both the employee.
But do you,
one as
want,
well.
do you want to help Kelly just to highlight
Yes.
those to them?
With the following, note the following errors. Page 5 of, where was that?
5 of 25.
Page 5 of 25.
and 7.
I haven't calculated it.
Yeah.
Is it just, should be over? It's a little bit more
It should be over.
over, yeah.
Page 5 regarding employee costs. And page 7 of 25 regarding cash balance.
Thank you.
Would you like me to move?
Yeah, I just noted too this morning, like on page 17 of 25, the materials and services. And again, you know, year-to-date budget is 85, but the actual's 26, like they're just not right. But they'll get right.
Made better.
Yeah. Who's moving?
You
Councillor
just want
Brompton.
to be consistent, you've just got to pick up what you've just highlighted.
Well, they're not
It's
wrong.
not an error.
It's not an error.
It's the phasing
It's the
again.
phasing.
Oh, the phasing.
Yeah,
righto.
it's not an error
Yeah.
as such. Councillor Brompton.
I move that council note the monthly financial report for the period ended 31st of July 2025, noting the following errors on page 5 of 25 regarding employee costs and page 7 of 25 regarding cash balance.
Have a seconder? Councillor Vincent, would you like to speak, councillor?
I think we've spoken enough apart. Actually, I haven't said thank you for the work
We-
around the enhanced reporting. Ideally we would have had this come to a briefing for us to discuss first, but the officer was ill, so we missed that opportunity to go through this in detail prior to it being presented. But it is a great move forward.
Yeah. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Vincent.
Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate what Councillor Brompton said. I find this report so much easier to read, and I think for those that are listening, should jump on and have a look as well, because there is those few errors that we have noted, but that's fine. But it's just a lot easier to see and so much more open and transparent about what's going on here at council. So thank you.
I hope you know that Rochelle is happy too. She's back there smiling away. Are you right, Councillor Hancock?
Yes, thank you.
All right. On that note, we'll all go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. Thank you very much, Director. L2, amendments to the Maranoa Nursing Advancement Bursary Framework. Councillor O'Neill.
I move the council endorse the amendment to the Maranoa Nursing Advancement Bursary Program Framework document with the following amendment. Page 2, change the selection panel chair will be nurse to the selection panel chair will be a counsellor.
Seconder, Councillor Brompton. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Thanks very much, Mayor. We're obviously going ahead with the Maranoa Nursing Advancement Bursary this year. We have 2 counsellors that will be part of this committee to assess, and I think it is appropriate that it is an elected representative of Maranoa Regional Council that is chairing this committee.
Thank you. Or anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. Thanks, Neil. L3, development application, material change of use, outdoor sport and recreation, swim school, 6 Tate Place, Roma, reference 2025/21479. And I have a conflict on L3, development application, material change of use, outdoor sport and recreation, swim school, 6 Tate Place, Roma. The declaring councillor is myself, Wendy Taylor. The person of interest is myself. Particulars of the interest, my grandson Casey attends this swimming school. Type of interest, conflict is a declarable conflict of interest. And although I have a declarable conflict of interest, I do not believe a reasonable person would have a perception of bias. Therefore, I will choose to remain in the meeting. However, I respect the decision of the meeting on whether I can remain and participate in the decision. Councillor Davis.
I move that it is in the public interest that Councillor Taylor participates and votes on agenda item L3 because a reasonable person would trust the decision is made in the public interest.
Seconder, Councillor Vincent. All those in favour?
I won't vote because I too have a conflict on this matter.
All those in favour?
Yes.
6-0. Councillor O'Neill.
I would like to declare an interest in this matter. Item L3, description, development application, material change of use, outdoor sport and recreation, swim school, 6 Tate Place, Roma. Declaring councillor is myself, Councillor Cameron O'Neill. Person of interest, myself and my daughters. Particulars of interest, my daughters are enrolled for swimming lessons at this school. Type of conflict, declarable conflict of interest. And the action is, although I have a declarable conflict of interest, I do not believe a reasonable person could have a perception of bias. Therefore, I will choose to remain in the meeting. However, I will respect the decision of the meeting of whether I can remain and participate in the decision.
Councillor Brompton.
I move that it is in the public interest that Councillor O'Neill participates and votes on agenda item L3 because a reasonable person would trust that the decision is made in the public interest.
Seconder, Councillor Davis. All those in favour?
Yes.
6-0. Right, do I have a mover? Councillor Flynn.
I move that the development application for a material change of use, outdoor sport and recreation swim school located at 6 Tate Place, Roma, properly described as Lot 31 on SP 20047 be approved subject to the listed conditions and general advice.
Seconder, Councillor Davis.
Second.
Are you right, Councillor Hancock?
No, I'm all good. I was just happy to second as well, but happy you've got a second, Mayor.
Councillor Davis seconded. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
Just to say that there has been, this application has come through. It's been through the planning proposals, and now it's in a position where the applicant can go ahead and help council with regard to the closure of the pool and to continue sport and recreation swimming lessons at the venue mentioned.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. We have a late. Thank you.
Mayor, is that the one on the Surratt Water?
Yes.
I just haven't had, I'm just wondering if I can move and lay this on the table to later in the meeting, simply because I haven't had a chance to just read the report
Okay.
because I'm online.
All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0 for laying it on the table till later in the meeting.
Yep.
Do we want to go back to the...
14.3. I haven't read it.
We haven't got them, no.
Oh,
Or have we?
We've got it. We just haven't read it.
I haven't got it. Oh, now I do. Thank you. We'll might read it later.
can we just go into close?
Yeah. Someone move, we go into closed?
Or do we need to?
Do I need, what are we doing with the? Isn't that the Edward Street proposal?
We're coming back to it.
We're coming back.
Okay.
I do need to go into close for one of the items, Councillor O'Neill.
Okay.
So,
Is there any?
Councillor Vincent?
Yes, I'd like to declare a conflict of interest on item C.2. The description is the Injune Museum project, update on design options and next steps. Declaring councillor is myself, Councillor Jane Vincent, a related party, person with interest myself. My mother, Janice Humphreys, is Secretary of the Cultural Heritage Injune, known as CHIPS. And the particulars of the interest, CHIPS is the community group invested in the Injune Museum. It is prescribed conflict of interest, and I'll leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move in accordance with the provisions of section 254J3 of the Local Government Regulation 2012. The council resolved to close the meeting to the public to discuss confidential items that its council has considered as necessary to close the meeting. In accordance with section 254J5 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, the following table provides the matters to be discussed and an overview of what is to be discussed while the meeting is closed. C1, lease over Lot 8 on SP 107700. C2, Injune Museum project update on design options and next steps. And C3, hire to buy opportunity, Cone Crusher Roma Quarry.
Have a seconder? Councillor Davis. All those in favour? Are you there, Councillor Hancock? I'd say she's dropped out.
Are you there, Councillor Hancock?
Text her.
We'll go with 7-0.
Yeah.
We're now enclosed. All right, we're back into open. C1, lease over Lot 8 on SP 107700. Do I have a mover? Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move that Council 1 accept the offer from the Department of Natural Resources and Mines, Manufacturing and Regional and Rural Development to incorporate Lot 8 on SP 107700, including the existing structure into the surrounding reserve for bore purposes, being Lot 7 on SP 222875 at no cost to Council. 2, authorise Chief Executive Officer or Delegate to execute documentation in relation to the transfer.
Have a seconder? Councillor Vincent. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
Oh, no, thanks.
Anyone like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. C2, Councillor Vincent has a conflict. Injune Museum project update on design options and next step. Councillor Brompton.
I move that Council 1 select Arterial Design as the preferred contractor to deliver stage 1 of the Injune Museum fit out for the estimated contract sum of $256,013.46 GST inclusive. 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or Delegate to enter into final negotiations with the tenderer, noting the estimated contract sum and execute the contract if the final terms are acceptable. 3, approve the reallocation of $30,000 from the Cobb & Co Store Museum Painting Project, Work Order 26039, to the Injune Museum Fit Out, Work Order 25936, Stage 1, noting the painting project can still be delivered with a reduced budget allocation, a reduced budget allocation. 4, accept a contribution of $85,000 from the CHIPS Group to be transferred to Council for the purpose of delivering the Injune Museum Fit Out Stage 1.
Have a seconder. Councillor O'Neill. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
Yes, I would. The CHIPS Group has been attempting to get funding for grants for a couple of years. We've decided to assist them to go forward with the funding that they have and that we had set aside, or we're hoping to. That's what I'm moving, because they've been unsuccessful in going for major grants, and it's such a shame to see such a large facility that hasn't been able to be used to any potential really at this stage. I applaud the CHIPS Group for their continued persistence in attempting to gain grants and to get something happening in that area. The amount of tourists going through at this time of year is amazing at Injune, so it would be a wonderful opportunity to get something happening there to capture more of the tourism trade, and also the fact that the officers have found a source of funding because we overestimated a job that can still go ahead within the reduced budget and allow us to continue with what we're proposing at Injune.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor O'Neill.
Thanks, Mayor. I echo all the sentiments that Councillor Brumpton has just made. I think this is a step in the right direction, doing the staged approach. Holding out to do it in one major project, it wasn't working. So recognising that after a couple of attempts, I think this is a really good step in the right direction to at least get the first stage done, and it will open up opportunities to seek smaller grants from the state or Commonwealth for future stages. So I think this is a good outcome. Pleasingly being able to identify where we can draw some funds from a project that's still going to be delivered and still delivered on budget and well, and I think is good too. And I know that the volunteers behind this particular project that have been working on it for as long as I've been on council will be ecstatic that there is a step in the right direction to have it fitted out in the way that they dreamed and planned it would. So I welcome this today, and credit to the staff for pulling this together, and I can't wait to see it come to fruition.
Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Davis.
Just got a question. Sorry, and I've just looked at it. Do we need to put anywhere through the CEO? Do we need to put anywhere that we're accessing the local buy arrangement for this? What have we done previously when we have?
Through the chair, the local buy provision that we're using out of the legislation doesn't need to be referenced in the resolution. There are some that do, but this particular exemption isn't one of them.
Beautiful. And I was just wondering if the mover and seconder would consider an amendment to point 5, invite the CHIPS group in for a
Upcoming brief.
Yeah, for a brief, or
I could note that, to raise that too.
Yeah. Invite the CHIPS group to meet with councillors at a future briefing to discuss the project.
Happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
Yep.
Who seconded it?
I just have a question when you're ready, Madam Mayor.
Seconded.
Yeah.
I moved. Yeah.
Yes, Councillor Hancock.
Sorry, I just, through the chair, I've just thought about this too. CEO Rob, we had a resolution on the books regarding the 150 that we'd set aside to go with a grant. I'm just wondering if we need to tidy that up in this resolution, because that will no longer be on the books to go
Carrie did
towards a grant.
in the budget. You did actually in the budget discussions there, Brett. I think you were there. Just in that budget discussions there for the 25-26 budget, we carried that 150 forward.
Yeah, we did, but we actually probably have a resolution on the book somewhere saying that we have set aside 150.
Yeah, that was prior to my time with council, but I think if it would have been, your resolution would have been to use that money to apply for a funding round, which you were unsuccessful on.
Can I ask a question? What does, on page 9, item OM/03.2025, that would cover that rollover, wouldn't it? Where it was discussed in 2024 and then rolled over again in 2025 for 25-26.
Yep.
And the two dot points are OM06 or /062024 and OM/0320.2025. Surely that would cover the allocation rollover for 25-26.
I don't think Councillor Hancock's talking about rollover. It's that there would be a live resolution somewhere saying that we'd
it was
support
to
the
go towards a grant.
Yeah.
But isn't that the
application.
rollover? Isn't that the grant?
Through
Why
the
do we have
chair,
to put anything more in?
there is a resolution from March 2025
Yes. Sorry, through the Mayor, we did bring a resolution to Council before budget consideration to consider allocating that money towards actual exhibitions. So we no longer had it set aside for grants. It was still to be used for grants, but we also allowed it to be used for exhibitions.
So we're covered.
So we're covered, we don't need to.
Okay. You happy with that, councillor?
Yeah, Tennille's microphone dropped out at the end, but I just heard that we're all good and we're covered. That's all I'm worried about. That they don't still think that we've got 150 sitting there to go for grants for it.
Okay, all good.
Just reference, I can't see where to do it, it's not jumping out, but just referencing the $85,000 coming from CHIPS. We just need to reference the $150,000 contribution coming from council.
That would be great, Councillor now.
Can you just, Gail, I just need to look at point 1 in that.
Through the chair.
So I think the order's out for me now. Number 4, we need to accept the 85 from CHIPS first. We need to allocate the 150, and then we select arterial design.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Yep.
Allocated the 150 plus the relocation of the 30.
And that, you see, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I move we lay this on the table just to nut that out and get it right.
All those in favour?
Yes.
7-0. All right, well, we might break for morning tea and we'll be back at 11. Thank you. So I'll reopen the meeting at 11:07. C2, Inju Museum update on design options and next steps. Councillor Vincent has a conflict, is leaving the room.
So we did have a mover and a seconder because I moved to lay this on the table. I think it was Councillor Brumpton had moved it.
Yeah.
And I seconded it.
Yeah. Councillor Brumpton.
Okay, so updating the recommendation as per moved, I move that the council, 1, accept the contribution of $85,000 from the Cultural Heritage Indune Preservation Society CHIPS to be transferred to council to deliver stage 1 of the Indune Museum fit-out. 2, confirm council's $150,000 budget allocation within the 25-26 budget to deliver stage 1 of the Indune Museum fit-out. 3, approve the capital project reallocation of $30,000 from the Cobb & Co Museum painting work order 26039 to the Indune Museum fit-out work order 25936, noting the painting project can still be delivered within a reduced budget allocation.
Just forgot the
Cobb
word
& Co Store Museum painting, sorry.
Please.
Yeah. 4, select arterial design as the preferred contractor to deliver stage 1 of the Indune Museum fit-out for the estimated contract sum of $256,013.46 GST inclusive. 5, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or Delegate to enter into final negotiations with the tenderer, noting the estimated contract sum and execute the contract if the final terms are acceptable. And 6, invite the CHIPS Group to meet with councillors at a future briefing to discuss the project.
I'm happy with that, yep.
Councillor O'Neill. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Just to say that the previous discussion, all we were doing was making it very clear about where the money was coming from in an orderly manner and confirming that the $150,000 we had in the budget was not tied to a grant. So just tidying it up in terms of clarity.
Anyone else like to speak?
I already spoke before.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
7-0. Now, Kel's going to give me some direction on where else she'd like me to go.
C3 is the next item on the
Oh,
agenda.
we didn't do C3. Oh, sorry.
Just deal with all the closed, go in order, and then we'll circle back to the laid on tables after that.
C3, hire to buy opportunity, Cone Crusher, Roman Quarry. Do I have a mover?
Happy to move.
When you're ready, councillor.
I move that Council 1 authorise the Chief Executive Officer or Delegate to negotiate and issue a purchase order for 1 Terex Finlay C-1540RS cone crusher for $195,000 excluding GST under Section 235E of the Local Government Regulation 2012 for the purchase of second-hand goods. 2, approve a budget transfer of $195,000 from work order 14754 quarry operations to a new capital works account to fund the purchase.
Seconded by councillor Burkett. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to thank the staff out at the quarry for really having a look at some of the efficiencies of running the quarry, including our equipment, and coming back to council with savings that if we purchase this this piece of equipment, we're actually going to be saving ourselves quite a substantial amount of money in the budget. So thanks to the staff for being proactive and looking for these savings.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Burkett.
Yeah, just to follow on from Councillor Hancock, I think one good value is that we know the machine, we know it's been serviced and well looked after. So there's no delay in any of that, and there's no delay in training the staff because they know the machine. And I think, like Councillor Hancock said, if we don't take this deal, we could be up for a lot more money down the track. So, no, fully supportive.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0.
I think they'll go to 14.1. Please.
14.1. Yep. Can do that. .1 Endorsement of Community Grants and Events Assistance Policy and Sponsorship Policy. We laid it on the table
Tidy up the amendment.
to tidy up the amendment. Councillor Davis.
Yep, thank you. I'd like to move that Council 1 adopt the Community Grants and Events Assistance Policy as presented. 2, adopt the sponsorship policy with the following amendments. Eligibility criteria, amend dot point 4 to state, be a commercial entity which can clearly demonstrate that the event will directly benefit the community or communities within the Maranoa region. Under ineligible applicants and activities include, but are not limited to, remove dot point 1, which states events, programs or activities run solely for commercial profit. 3, rescind all previous versions of the above mentioned policies identified in points 1 and 2. 4, approve the reopening of the Community Grants Program for applications following adoption of these policies. 5, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to make any minor administrative amendments to the policies as required. 6, upload the adopted policies on Council's public website.
I'm happy with that as
Had
a
a
second.
seconder. Councillor Brompton, happy with that? Would you like to speak, councillor?
Well, I think it's all been said before, but this was just to make sure that our policies were consistent and not against each other in the wording. I'm happy with the sponsorship policy that we can, council does get a say in what we do sponsor and how that could benefit the community. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0.
14.3. 14.3.
14.3, going back to 14.3, development application, material change of use,
I'll read
dwelling
it out.
house. Yeah, I'll have to read it first though.
Do I have to do it again? Read it again?
No, the mayor just has to read it first.
Change of
Oh.
material use, dwelling house, domestic outbuilding, 173 Edward Street, Roma, reference 2025-21534. Councillor Flynn has a conflict and is leaving the room.
You don't have to read it again.
And we laid this on the table. Who, did somebody, did you move it?
Mayor, I'd like to move that we defer this decision until the next ordinary meeting of council on the 11th of September, and that we undertake a site visit subject to the approval of the applicant and the owners on Wednesday, the 10th of September.
Do you need a seconder?
You do, yeah.
Can I have a seconder? Councillor Brompton. All those in favour?
Yes.
7-0. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Where we going now, Rob?
Now we're off to the
L4, isn't it?
water. It's the last one.
Should we do the late? Oh,
Yeah, that's it.
L4.
The L4, yeah, that's the late.
Late. We're up to L4. Councillor Flynn is back in the room. L4, Surat water schedule. Do I have a mover? Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move that Council 1, receive and note the report. 2, adopt the following schedule for summer 2025-26. 1st of September to the 31st of March, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, East, May water 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, West, May water 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. 3, continue to provide the community with updates on water consumption levels throughout the year via static signage, print and online communications.
Seconder. Councillor Vincent, would you
Happy
like
to second.
Councillor Vincent, seconded. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
Yeah, just to say thanks to Director Matt for following this through. It's taking away the Monday has proven a water saver, and I'd like to applaud the Surat community for playing along and doing everything right so we can keep our water allocation in the area where it should be.
Thank you. Councillor.
Oh, sorry. So, yeah, so the 1st of September 2025, 31st of March 2026 for that water allocation.
Would you like to speak, Councillor Hancock?
Yes, thank you. I just want to, I'm happy to support this today because I think we did do the trial with the community over the end of summer and winter, and it hasn't impacted the community at all. I've had no feedback from the community regarding this. I think that it has been a success because we were very, very close to being under our water allocation. So I just think that it shows the department that as a community we are really trying to abide by that, and our community has supported it. So happy to support this resolution to be a, just double checking, sorry. Are we changing the policy or will this have to come back every time? Look, happy to support the resolution as it stands today.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor O'Neill.
I'm supportive of this. I was going to ask that same question. While this has to go through today, surely this will trigger for us to review the broader water policy to embed, so we're not making this decision on an annual basis. And then should this state, this is for the raw water, is it not?
Correct.
So
Correct.
Should we specify, does that need to state that anywhere?
Yeah, generally we can put raw water schedule in there if you like, Councillor.
Because
It's the only thing they use for watering though, isn't it?
no, they can use the potable water, which would be captured by the broader policy anyway.
I don't think we had it in the last one. I think it was just straight water.
Wouldn't it be water
It
like
could be a blend.
everybody else's water? I know it's different down there with the raw water, but
Yeah, so
it's just all water.
Yeah.
I get it.
Because
Yep.
it will be a blend later next year as well too,
Yeah,
potentially.
that's a good pickup. Yeah, yeah. But this should trigger it to come back as part of a review of that broader policy, shouldn't it? Yeah.
And obviously, Councillor, when the larger infrastructure gets connected and is online, we'll have to discuss that again in terms of the blending and the 80 meg licence that we have as well. Yep.
Thanks, Matt. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Prompton.
I'd like to commend the community for following through with without any issues with the Monday. I do like to acknowledge though we still did go slightly over, so this doesn't mean we'll be able to take the brakes off this year on monitoring the water supply and really ask the community to continue to work with us to make sure that we can stay within that allocation, because we did go slightly over even with this last year, so it doesn't mean you know, the brakes are off and away we go. So, but do commend the Surat community for the work that they have done to keep within this allocation, and Director Matt for keeping us informed and across this as well.
Yeah, yeah, thank you very much. All right, on that note, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0.
Thank you, guys.
That's it. Councillor Vincent, you had something you wanted to share?
Yes, I just wanted to quickly acknowledge and congratulate Marlene All. Marlene was named 2025 Queensland Volunteer of the Year at the Queensland Visitor Information Centre Awards last week. So she's been a volunteer for 13 years at the Roma Visitor Information Centre, and also volunteers at the Red Cross, the Polo Cross and the Speedway, and probably other places as well. So just a quick congratulations to Marlene.
Yeah, and we actually surprised her on Tuesday and gave her a thing that down at the big rig. So
It's on social media. I see.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, and I actually saw her at scone time, and I'm lucky I didn't say see you later. 'Cause I didn't realise that I didn't realise it was a surprise. So all good. All right. If no one's
Excuse me, Kel, I think it's AULD.
Oh yes, Ald.
Ald.
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Thanks for that, councillor. Nobody's got anything else? We'll close the meeting at 11:21, and thank you very much.